Hi, everyone, and welcome to Utah Stories Top 5, where we scour all the top headlines of the day and sift through the spin and clutter and present to you the most important and pressing headlines, saving you countless hours. This is your best first download of the day to get things rolling so you can stay informed, engaged, and aware of the most important issues impacting the quality of life in Utah and your local communities. I am your host today, Allegra Zukowicz, and on today's Top 5, we have Senator Mitt Romney weighs in on Biden's age and competency. Brine shrimp cyst collection at Great Salt Lake up over 50%. Is the berm to thank? Town of Alta considers formally opposing UDOT Gondola plan. Cox calls DII Overhaul a positive vision for struggling students in Utah. U.S. Magnesium avoided paying millions for alleged air quality infractions and gave big donations to Utah lawmakers. But before we get to our headlines, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. And today's episode is brought to you by Utah Stories Magazine. Did you know that for just $3 a month, you can have Utah Stories print magazine delivered right to your door? Utah Stories has been in print for nearly 20 years, and the reason people still love reading it on paper is that it is a very unique and fun, tangible way to experience the world around you. Screens might be taking over our consciousness, but print media will never die. Why? Because print offers a way to connect you in a real-world manner. Let's not undermine our real-world communities, believing that somehow online communities should replace them. Utah Stories is your connection to the real world. Alrighty, let's dive into our first headline and story. Senator Mitt Romney weighs in on Biden's age and competency. So, Senator Mitt Romney denounced the lack of productivity in Washington, D.C., defending President Biden on claims about him being not mentally fit to be the president. We're on track to become the least productive Congress in history, he told Utah State Democratic Minority Caucus, according to KSL. Romney said politics in the nation's capital has gone from the art of the impossible to the art of the possible to the art of the impossible, with members of Congress introducing legislation which can't possibly become law, but will satisfy the base of their political party. What does Romney think of Biden? I believe President Biden is intellectually competent. That's not the worry. The worry for me with President Biden is that I disagree with him on the border and think he's spending too much money, Romney said, according to KSL. Alrighty, our second headline. Brine shrimp cyst collection at Great Salt Lake up over 50%. Is the berm to thank? The Great Salt Lake is at a record low level in 2022 as well as 2023, and it is causing problems. Water from the lake's saltier north arm started flowing into the southern arm, raising salinity levels to the point that threatened the south arm's entire ecosystem. But the changes are benefiting one of the lake's creatures. About 29 million pounds of brine shrimp cysts were harvested at the lake this past season, which normally runs from October through January every year. Utah Division of Wildlife Resources officials said Thursday it's more than a 50% increase from the 19 million pounds collected the year before. We thank our sister agencies and other partners for taking quick action to address salinity issues, he said in a statement. It allowed the brine shrimp to quickly rebound, said John Luft, the Great Salt Lake Ecosystem Program Manager, to KSL. Alrighty, moving on to our third headline of the day. Town of Alta considers formally opposing UDOT Gondola plan. Save Our Canyons, Friends of Alta, Friends of Little Cottonwood Canyon, and Canyon Guard urge council members to formally oppose the Utah Department of Transportation's planned 8-mile gondola. UDOT authorized the gondola plan in July. Since then, it's been the subject of 3 separate lawsuits. In their presentations Wednesday, all 4 groups acknowledged that there are traffic problems in Little Cottonwood Canyon, but they asserted that UDOT's planned gondola is not the best solution. We are supportive of transportation improvements that address the issues. We do not think that the gondola is the complete answer, Alta Ski Area President Mike Monin said during the Wednesday meeting. We are concerned and want to make sure as we work through this process with UDOT and others that we don't bring too many people up here. We need to have the right balance. Alrighty, moving on to headline number 4. Cox calls DII Overhaul a positive vision for struggling students in Utah. The new DII laws that Governor Cox is signing into law were addressed by the governor in a press conference last week. Governor Cox defended the legislation, saying that it would be still disproportionately help minority students because it will be targeting assistance for first-generation college students. Cox said in the press conference, "This is really a positive vision of how do we help our minority communities and all the students who are struggling." Alrighty, moving on to headline number 5. U.S. Magnesium avoided paying millions for alleged air quality infractions and gave big donations to Utah lawmakers. U.S. Magnesium settled with the Utah Department of Environmental Quality in the fall of 2023, accepting a penalty some regulators said was too lenient. The deal came soon after the mineral extractor's parent company made a sizable donation to Governor Spencer Cox. The Air Quality Board approved the negotiation on September 12th in a 5-2 vote. 4 days earlier, on September 8th, campaign finance disclosures show the Renko Group gave Cox's campaign $50,000. It was one of the largest cash campaign contributions the governor received in 2023, when he took in total $1.5 million in donations. Beyond appointing members, the governor has no authority over the Air Quality Board or its decisions and has had no conversations about the settlement, a spokesperson for Cox wrote in an email to the Tribune. Likewise, the governor has no control over who chooses to contribute to his campaign. Alrighty, moving on to the question of the day. What do you think of the DEI ban? Please comment down below your thoughts on Governor Cox's opinion on it being a positive change. Alrighty, moving on to the adventure of the day. SLC Winter Edition at the Gateway this past Friday. We're going to show you a Reddit clip of the super fun concert. Way more big and fun, exciting concerts are coming to Salt Lake City lately. So make sure to check those out. I'm sure there'll be even more coming up. And now, moving on to the end of our program. Thank you so much for joining me today. Remember, if you like this content and you want to engage to a greater degree with your local community, go out and subscribe to either Utah Stories print magazine or our free digital newsletter. From utahstories.com, you can subscribe to our newsletter that offers all the stories that we are covering in-house. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.